quality or not. They would ask us to just edit it from to send it just no really. I'm happy to introduce Karin here, who used to work down here at our university. I was working in the room.
Yes, I'm a PhD student at Swedish University.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she's going to present some things around the Open Data Institute, because I mean, when we spoke about linked data, the year before and the year before that, and so forth, there's been some notion as well, some recognition in the ears of the practitioners in the public sector as well, when you talk about open data. So they kind of, if you just say open data, well, I've heard that word anyway, so that kind of rings a bell. Similar to it rings a bell, I know spreadsheets, and you can export from spreadsheets to something that's useful elsewhere. I find, well, that's much, this is as far as it's step. So I'm very pleased that you will be able to present a little bit about what's happening within the Open Data Institute and how that correlates with all the things. After Karin's talk, my thought was that those of you who were presenting today, we could have kind of an open conversation, and maybe I could ask my fellow colleague, Justin or someone, help me to just have some, rounding up questions to you before we hit the bar on the other side and actually get to the really good nitty-gritty data about standards that don't work and so forth. So, here.
Okay, I don't think I will deliver the last part of what you expected, but anyway.
In the bar.
In the bar, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but about everything about linked data, no. Anyway, my name is Karin. I've been working in the IT business here in government for 25 years. Now I'm a PhD student at the university. What I also do, I have a company of my own called Ahlin. So what I do basically is I do some Innova project whenever I have time, depending on the time I
So do I.
Yes. Good. So I have to do it next year. Anyway, by doing this kind of project, I and a fellow of mine, Steve, is not working together with me anymore. We were asked by Innova whether we want to be a node for the Open Data Institute. How many of you knew something about the Open Data Institute? Okay. You can go to the speaker. So what I'm doing right now is that I'm acting as a network node. And there are two kinds of nodes. It's like a learning nodes and also this kind of network node. And the network node, we're working to bring together community. We do events, training, and such things. And the learning nodes, of course, they do learning, and I will talk a bit more about that later on. And also workshops and events. So if you can change the slides.
Yes, I'm going to be an expert on this.
Yes, that's good one. So here you can see where the nodes are located. There are 20 right now. And this one, is one I'm acting at. So there are some of them in Europe, some in the US, some in Africa, and some in Asia as well, and also in Australia. So sometimes, because I do research about the intangible benefits of digital information, and I work with my own company, and it's also about digital information, open data. And sometimes I thought, why do I do this? And I thought a lot about it, and I said, okay, because I think we live a bit like in the digital, in the information time right now. We have a lot of digital information, such things. But as a community, how much impact do we do? I don't know. Not much. Or do you agree with me? A little bit?
We have hundreds of users now listening to this YouTube. So it's just it's hoarding. They thread it to this conversation.
Yeah. Okay with me. So I thought, okay. So I think we need to make more impact. We have to talk much more about digital information in the community, and we have to talk back so that people understand what we are saying. Okay. Then if I go into the Open Data Institute, I think first said this is for everyone.
Tim?
Yes.
On the London Olympic Games?
Yeah. And he and Nigel Shannon, they are the founders of the Open Data Institute. And of course, they are they came. And they had an idea of, yes, we want this community to know more about open data. We want to make it to be a part, we want the whole ecosystem to be viewed. So they said, okay, we're quite famous people, we can make impact. So they had an idea of about open data, something that is more known to the public. So they went to see, I don't remember his name right now, the Prime Minister, that's the Prime Minister in the UK, and said, and came down and said, okay, we want some money. And so they had £10 million during 5 years. That's a lot of money. So they can start this non-profit organization. And they did. It will change. So what do they do at the Open Data Institute? They look upon open data, of course, about the technical aspect we do and we're talking about today. But they're also interested in discussing and telling a story and showing the world that digital information has impact and a great impact. They do the emergent talk about standards. They also talk about the value of open data, the first sector engagement, and how they do that is if you visit the Open Data Institute, the office in London, you can see a lot, I don't know, 20 seats or office places where startups can sit. They can sit there for, I think, 8 or 9 months. So I visited them 2 years ago. And actually, I met a Swedish girl. They had a company doing things about environment data and weather data. So sell it to construction companies essentially. And I don't know if I have got such showcase in Sweden. So we can make more public. They also, and that's why they have the network, they have the global demand and the global challenges. Some people can say, okay, it's like 20 nodes, that's not much, the world is much bigger. So, but they have at least started something. And what we do as a network node, except today I make speeches, I try to make workshops, meetings, is that we have Scrum meetings every second week. And we discuss things, what we're doing, what kind of challenges, and we can learn from each other. That's pretty interesting. So I think it could change.
Yes.
So, why could this be of interest for you? Things easily is that you can follow them on Twitter. They have ODI HQ, like for example, so different Twitter accounts. They also have Friday lectures. So each Friday they have a lunch meeting, and this is recorded. And you can easily find it on the website. They're also doing about data certificates. So they are discussing different kind of standards. Education, and I will give you, I will ask later on, because I'm going to London in June for a training course for open data. So, and I think as a node, I have 2 seats. I just need 1. So if anyone is interested, please. We have research collaboration. So since I don't know if I can call myself a researcher, I will be one for next year hopefully. So if they want to do different kind of funding, like for example tourism. So they are discussing, can do this in common research programs. They also have the storytelling. That's one thing I miss here in Sweden. Not actually really good on telling about why should we use open data, why should we use it for, and what kind of value and benefits is to the public. So you can search for different kind of small like films for 2-3 minutes. Transport you're actually doing if you want to have to know. Okay. So one thing I missed to talk about this is the data is that I do a monthly blog post. So and this one is published on the Open Data Institute website. Of course you can link it if you want to be public on others. Like this, and Hannes, you said this by the way I had breakfast at what were you?
Yes.
Yeah, so feel free to contact me if you want to have something published. As I said, I will do the training course. We normally have this as the last fall. So I was tempted for a project doing course material for open data to publish on SQL website this autumn. There's also a research meeting in Oslo, the 2nd of July. And I had a conversation because actually I wanted someone from ODI to come here. They couldn't. They said, but we had this meeting in Oslo and there's this project about different kind of tools. So it's easy to publish data for common users. And also a question, and I think it's too late in the evening or in the afternoon right now, but if we could increase knowledge usage of open data in Sweden. So that's my message.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any questions to Karin before we set up for the panel discussion?
Did you talk to Jenny very well? There's a woman who Jenny from Gothenburg City Council.
Sorry?
Did you talk to Jenny who was here earlier?
No, I haven't done that.
Right. She was from Gothenburg City Council trying to be enthusiastic for open data.
Yes, we need a lot of interest, yes.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm doing that.
She's the one you could have spoken to this afternoon, if only you knew.
And I'm so sorry, being a PhD student, you have to publish a lot of articles. So last week I had one and it was conditionally accepted, so I have done a lot of revision. And actually I sent it submitted it 1 p.m. I was quite busy with that.
So the answer to the question, how do you promote it in Gothenburg? You need people like that. You need people on the inside.
Yes, we need people on the inside and we also need people on the outside, and we also need people to be able to communicate and say why should like why should they invest money in this? Because obviously they have a lot of other things to do.
But who in Sweden has the clout to go for lunch with private?
I don't know.
Did you get Carl Bilge? Seriously?
Yes, Carl Bilge would do it because he's. I don't know. I was invited to the Internet Forum last spring. He's quite interested, but you have to. I don't know. He's more kind of interested in the internet. I don't know how much he knows about the data.
I've heard of it, right? So it's. I mean, Tim was at lunch with Gordon Brown, right?
I'm sorry.
And Gordon said, so could you pass this on? And by the way, what do you think I should do? And Tim said, give us your data. And 2 weeks later, the data looked up that they haven't. That's the kind of power Tim has. Now, most people don't have that kind of power. You and I certainly don't.
No.
But who does? Someone who can have a word in your Prime Minister's ear.
Thank you. I mean,
That's the person you want to
Yeah, so that's what. But right now, to be honest, we don't have. Or we do. We have an IT minister. Yes.
no.
Yes. Some kind of.
Sort of.
Sort of. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Sort of. We had to.
Yeah, but I think that most business, we had a conference last week about IT and healthcare, which is huge effort from all the regional parties. Healthcare, and obviously there's a lot of data. I mean, it's all about data. The practitioners, the doctors, the nurses are really in desperate needs to get proper data. So yes, I think you're right there that the ways the top authorities within the UK have addressed open.uk.com has been a success due to that fact. And this is one of the main issues we have here in Sweden. People think we have a lot of legislation and policies about being open, which is something that we're really proud of. Swedish is an open society, but that doesn't make the data open by default. It has to be finished and
Yes, and it has to publish, and we also have to people to use it. We have to. I think the whole ecosystem. I think we are talking. Sometimes I can believe in because we are like, okay, this is, now we have some technical standards, and now we publish and
no, but I think it relates back to the presentation about problems, because when you, as an entrepreneur, wants to build something on top of the data in different stacks, you have to be able to trust that this agency, because it's a public agency run by the government, should be there and has a sustainable model to finance and monetize this for a lengthier period than just a hackathon for 24 hours. It's a lengthier period than you need. But thank you very much, Karin.
Yes.
And we'll